Joseph was loved by his father Jacob, but his brothers despised him.
Brothers, I had a dream. Your sheaves bowed down to mine.
His dreams only deepened their hatred.
So what? You think you'll rule over us?
Joseph's brothers were jealous of him, and thought of ways to get rid of him. They considered killing him, but instead they threw him into a pit, and sold into slavery as soon as the opportunity arose. The brothers then made it seem as though Joseph was killed by an animal. They dipped his colorful robe in blood and sent it to his father.
A wild beast has devoured my son.
Grief consumed Jacob, believing his son was dead. Meanwhile, in the household of a man called Potiphar, Joseph diligently slaved away. Though enslaved, God was with Joseph, and he prospered, until one day, temptation arose. Potiphar's wife found Joseph attractive, and so one day, when no one else was around, she wanted to make love with him.
Lie with me.
My master trusts me. I will not sin against God.
As Joseph attempted to flee, Potiphar's wife called out to the other servants, accusing Joseph of raping her. This led to him being thrown into prison. Even in chains, Joseph was favored by God, interpreting dreams for Pharaoh's servants who were also arrested.
I saw a vine with 3 branches, pressing grapes into Pharaoh's cup.
This is to say that in 3 days, Pharaoh will restore you.
3 days later, the cupbearer was freed from prison, confirming Joseph's interpretation. Years passed. Then Pharaoh himself had a dream, and no one could interpret it.
I saw 7 fat cows, devoured by 7 skinny cows. What could this mean?
There's a man in prison who can interpret dreams. Tell him what you saw, and he'll help you understand.
The cupbearer whose dream Joseph interpreted suggested that Pharaoh would ask Joseph, and so Joseph was called in.
The dreams mean 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Store grain now, and Egypt will be saved.
Pharaoh believed that Joseph had the wisdom of God, and so he made Joseph ruler of Egypt, ranking him second only to himself. Years later, famine came, just as Pharaoh's dream predicted. Due to the famine, Joseph's brothers sought food in Egypt, not knowing they'd end up standing before the brother they had betrayed.
Mighty Lord, we seek food.
Joseph, concealing his identity, ordered that along with grain, his personal silver cup would be planted in their youngest brother's sack. As the brothers began to make their way out of the palace, Joseph told his palace manager to follow after them, so as to accuse him of theft.
Hey! Why have you stolen my master's silver cup?
Joseph then threatened to make the boy his slave, but his brother, Judah, pleaded with him.
Please, take me instead. Our father cannot bear to lose another son.
I am Joseph, your brother.
Joseph confessed, as he wept. The one they had betrayed now held their fate in his hands.
What you meant for evil, God used for good.
It wasn't too long before his father Jacob joined them in Egypt. The family was restored, and Jacob rejoiced to see his son again.